So this is a photo I'm showing her of the Shailputri Puja, which was held in Dharamshala in 1985, March. And then I'm showing her a comparison photo where the same expression on Shimaji is there, and then she's saying that when the Devi is prasanna with the puja, then this is the expression I get. So you have to see a puja and see whether the expression of the puja, whether there's that prasanna look or a serious look. If there's too much negativity in that sage yogis, then the face becomes very serious. But when you absorb the vibrations and she's totally relaxed, then there's a complete different face altogether. So you can see from different pujas whether Devi is prasanna, whether she's exhausted with all your vibrations, whether she's very serious, she's concerned about some negativity. So from her face you know everything. You have to develop a certain sensitivity to Shri Mataji. There is two things. One is that we worship Shri Mataji. So we worship her as a goddess. So you say the prayers, you please her, you offer flowers, you do puja. But there's another thing, that you love Shri Mataji. So worshipping Shri Mataji is different from loving Shri Mataji. You worship God, but you do not love God. So how do you know that you love Shri Mataji? If you love others, then you love her. But if you say, no, I only want Shri Mataji and I don't want anybody else, then you can't love her. Because love is a state. You're either a loving person or you're not. You can't be both. You can be inside the house or you can be outside the house. You can't be both. So if you are a loving person, you love everybody. But if you're not, you may just pray to God and do all kind of offerings and prayers and 1,000 names of God, but nothing going to work because she only knows love. So this is where sometimes sage yogis slip and they have problems in the collective. Because they think we are doing for sage yoga. So this is the right thing to do. A very small example, I'll say. Supposing there's a puja going on and the children are coming to wash her feet. Now one child has come in a jean. So immediately some say, no, he can't come, he's in a jean. Now what does the child know what he has to wear? He's just coming for his mother. So when you become rigid, means that the love is not there. And she's only pleased if there's love. So if you're doing a puja to her, there has to be love. So that expression is that she's prasanna. Devi has to be prasanna. Let the whole world not be prasanna, but the goddess has to be prasanna. You don't have to please anybody else, you have to please her. That's the point. So if you're pleasing her, you'll never have problems in collectivity. But if you're not pleasing her, that means your agenda is something else. And that is the agenda that is a source of all problems in any collectivity. And you can't solve it with your mentals. You have to use only love. Love means patient. Be patient. If somebody is creating the ruckus or this thing, just be a little patient. Pray to Shri Mataji to show you how to deal with it. Slowly use all the sage yoga techniques. And it can get solved. But if you use your intellect, then friction. Two intellects, friction. Then it won't work. So that is the whole point. Always, anything you do, first the Devi has to be present. If she's not, it doesn't matter if you miss a puja, doesn't matter if you miss a center, she has to be present. So that photograph is what it is saying. A lot of people have talked about artificial intelligence. So I think one thing good that artificial intelligence can do is that it'll make you realize that your intelligence is limited. What gives man an ego is because he thinks he's very smart or he thinks he's very intelligent. But when you see how artificial intelligence is working, then realize there's something much greater than me. And my intelligence is limited. This is much greater, something much greater thing. So your ego will come down. One of the things that whatever we have done so far, we've done through our Agya Chakra. So we are intelligent people. I'm not questioning, you're born with intelligence, pure intelligence. But when that pure intelligence goes through the process of the Agya Chakra, then it becomes artificial intelligence. Because it's not the reality. So whatever you have so far done with your intelligence through the Agya Chakra, I'm saying if you've done it without the Agya Chakra, it's okay. But whatever you've done through the Agya Chakra, that intelligence is artificial intelligence, right? So it is not the reality. So that is why Adi Shankaracharya said, ये सब जगत भ्रम, ये भ्रम है, जगत भ्रम है. Because it is artificial, it's not real. So this point you will come to. When you see that it's artificial intelligence doing anything, my intelligence is not doing anything, so then your ego will go. So the Maya of artificial intelligence will bring your end to the right place. So it's like the bigger fish has to eat the smaller fish. So the bigger Maya has to work out the smaller Maya. The Maya of artificial intelligence has to work out our ego. But having said that, Sage Yogis should not use artificial intelligence in Sage Yoga for editing Srimaji's photographs or creating images, because artificial intelligence has got no vibrations. Recently, somebody posted a clip of Sage Yoga using artificial intelligence. But it was very attractive, everybody was very impressed, but it had no vibrations. So what is the use? And the second thing, you should not put any Sahaj information in any artificial intelligence, because then artificial intelligence will start using Sahaj Yoga knowledge for creating a new Sahaj Yoga. And people will be very impressed because it will be very colorful, it will be very convincing, and there will be a Sage Yoga created by artificial intelligence. That will be the next generation. So don't give any information about Sage Yoga to artificial intelligence. That means don't use artificial intelligence for anything concerning Sage Yoga. No editing through artificial, no pictures, no nothing. Otherwise, artificial intelligence will turn around and create a new Sage Yoga. And then that will become the de facto Sage Yoga. Because people are always impressed by the virtual than by the real. Because that's how we are psyched. We are more programmed to accept the artificial. Dreams are more real to us than reality. So fiction becomes a reality. So you can use artificial intelligence, I'm not against it, for your medical science or any other thing, but not for Sage. Because once the gin is out of the bottle, you can't stop it. It's very interesting. There was the grand-nephew of Alfred Nobel, the Nobel Peace Prize. I think 3-4 days ago, there was this lady from Venezuela who was the opposition leader. She was given the Nobel Peace Prize. So this grandnephew, his name was Klaus Nobel. He came to Prathisthan, he was here. And he had also invited Srimaji to America for public programs. He became a Sage Yogi. So he was telling the story of how the Nobel Peace Prize started. So Alfred Nobel, who was the founder of the Nobel Peace Prize, he had invented dynamite. And then when he saw how people use dynamite for destruction, wars, mass destructions. He felt very guilty, what have I done? And he could not forgive himself. So his secretary suggested to him that, all what you've earned through this big invention, why don't you create a movement for bringing in peace and create this Nobel Peace Prize to be given to people who are doing the work of peace. So as a reaction to what he had done, then he started the Nobel Peace Prize. But once the gin is out of the bottle, you can't cock it back. Dynamite is dynamite. Goes in the wrong hand. Same with the artificial intelligence. People can use it positively and people can use it negatively. So within the artificial intelligence, it'll defeat itself, as they're doing with nuclear energy. So the same thing can be a Frankenstein that will bounce back on you. So that is why discretion, that you get the Hamsa Chakra property. How to use Sage Yoga, where to use, where not to use. So when Dr. U.C. Rai came here, he wanted to understand. Then came the question of antibiotics. No, they said no antibiotics. So this is why. So he explained to him that in the center of the sternum bone, these antibodies are produced. And who is the chief, who is the commander-in-chief of the antibodies is Shri Ganesha. So, when you come to Sage Yoga, the principle of the Shri Ganesha Tattva, Shri Ganesha is in every chakra. So here, he is awakened and the antibodies which are inside your body get a discretion. So, when the enemy attacks, they know who to kill and who not to kill. They don't indiscriminately kill all the viruses, all the bodies, all the germs, everything. They don't kill indiscriminately. They have a discretion because they have the wisdom of Sri Ganesha. But when you take antibiotics, they kill good and the bad, both. So your immune system becomes low. So your defense mechanism becomes vulnerable. So all right, you may have killed one virus, but your defense mechanism is so weak, other viruses can enter. So that is why she said, don't take it. The worst scenario case, of course, but in general, she said, do not take antibiotics. So then, when he went on with more disease, she says, enough. The whole thing is faith. A patient will get cured if he has faith. So the end game is faith. And if you don't have faith, and she may be giving vibration, she may give everything, it won't work. In those days, Shimaji would give small treatments for things like, अच्छा उसको liver है, तो ये जामुन की जो गुठली है, उसका चूरन बना लो, I will vibrate sugar, you mix it, give it for the liver, he'll be all right. So we used to make these things, in-house kind of things. So like that, she gave things about neem and other things, how to use it. So I used to write down all that. And then I suggested, if people globally, sage yogis, they're having all these problems, can we make it into you can say a small medical or a sage yoga outfit where people can buy or get these treatments, we can post them. So she thought about it. She says, okay, but I have to vibrate everything, only then it will work. So I said, then what will we call it? So she thought for a moment. She said, One Devi. So One Devi outfit started for making. So gradually, as she was more and more receding inside of her, it became a big enterprise. And then Sage Yogis made it into a big company and started outsourcing. They would give the formulas and get it outsourced because it was huge demand. I mean, everybody wanted these medicines. Everybody has problems. And it became an industry. But in the result was that because the vibrations were not there, only the formula was there, it didn't work. Then Sir C.P. shut it down. So, even when you do something in Sahaja Yoga, which has been started by her, but then later on it goes to an extreme point where it is started by her, but she's not there. That's the point. So sometimes she's there and sometimes she's not there. You may go to a seminar, you may go to a puja, but sometimes you don't feel her presence because maybe the people behind it had some other agenda. It's not there. Even during her time, there were people who started Sage Yoga movements, and they would use her photographs, and they would use her photographs to gain a pedestal. That Shri Maharaj ne bola hum kalki hain. And then a group would form around them and they would start worshipping that person and all that. And then at one time, I think 1999, then this group came to Ganpatipule. And Shimaji to attend the seminar. So Shimaji didn't allow them. He said, but Shimaji, we are worshipping you. You may be worshipping me, but you have accepted this falsehood. And that falsehood has blocked the Kundalini. So even if you may want to know the truth, but you accepted falsehood in the name of truth, that falsehood obstructs you. So that's why you have to be very, very careful, because as Sage Yoga goes on expanding, different versions come in. People take Shri Maharaj's name and say, oh, Shri Maharaj ne ye bataya tha, Shri Maharaj ne wo kaha tha. So always say, but in which video is it? That is your only proof of truth. Otherwise they say so many things. Anybody can say anything to get little importance, 10 people sitting in one person, so, I heard this, and, everything is posted in social media. Anybody wants to get a little importance, he will try to say something different. And then people believe, because everybody likes variety, let's say. You like entertainment. You don't want to listen to the same song every day. So if somebody says, oh, but that song had this kind of a tune, but Shri Maharaj liked, where is it? Which video? Unless until you have a proof, do not accept anything, because then you would have accepted falsehood in the name of truth. And then, even with your good intentions and a good heart, that falsehood blocks you. So this is the one Maya that we are all in, of social media. It rules us. So, and Sage Yogis play to it, they are in every group. Each Sage Yogi is some in 20, some in 30, some in 40 groups, and each group is telling you something. Why do you need all this? You don't need entertainment. There's something so pure and so straightforward. You don't need to listen to anybody else. You don't need social media. There's one group, they interpret dreams. So, I had this dream of Shri Maharaj. You'll go into the subconscious and bhoots of some sort will catch you. So, another one, no, anything happening in the world, let's all give a bandhan, collective bandhan. Every day there's so many things happening in the world, so the whole day you'll be giving collective bandhan. What you're doing is spoiling your attention. One person, if you are connected to Samadhi, his bandhan is enough. A lot of people come to me and say, आप बंधन दीजिए. So आप क्यों नहीं बंधन देते अपने आप? नहीं, आप श्री माँ जी के साथ थे. तो ऐसे आप भी तो हैं. So you must have confidence in yourself that I have nothing special. I have the same kundalini as you have. There's nothing. It's not any better or any worse or any. It's the same as everybody's kundalini. The only thing is that I have learned one thing, to be truthful. That's all. I've never accepted anything anybody said. Sage Yoga, she has said how it's to be done, she said how to be spread. So don't make your suggestions. That's one trick of the ego, that by suggesting, then you get that you know something more. It's all, she said the same thing to everybody. There's no information that she gave to one person individually and not to the collective. If she told me one thing today, tomorrow she'll say the same thing in a public program. So there's nothing that I know more than you. But only thing is, believe in what you know. Don't think that you don't know enough. You know the whole of Sage Yoga. What is the whole of Sage Yoga? 7 chakras into 3, 21. 3 nadis, 7, what?